A couple of months ago, I put out this video, and it shows that the moon's terminator line is parallel to the horizon. So my question for flat earthers was, why would I see this? I certainly didn't see it in my hometown of Seattle. Now, for globers that understand the motion of the moon, I would be willing to bet that they would have a very good idea of my approximate location. And later, I panned out to show that this was not camera trickery. That moon was right above this building. So remember the shape of this building. Now I also showed that the terminator line wasn't always parallel to the horizon. It varied during the course of the year. And this is what the moon looked like 2 months later on the 20th of April. So here is the video. Now, as these thin clouds pass by, I think it's affecting the exposure rate of the camera, so that's why we see a change of color. Now the camera is shaking because I'm manually zooming out. And if you look down here left of center, you can see the building where the moon was setting during February. So this path is farther to the right. So when we compare these side by side, you can clearly see that the angle of the terminator line has changed dramatically. Now, some of it could be is that I didn't have my camera perfectly aligned with the horizon. But another interesting thing is look at these two dark areas right here. On this shot over here, they are also at a different angle. So down below here, I took a copy and paste of the moon on the right and aligned it as it is with the moon above. And now you can see that both of these dark areas here and the terminator lines are aligned with each other. Now this is called libration, and you can see it in this simulation of 1 month's time that is played over and over. So the moon is actually twisting back and forth. And the two main factors are that the moon has an elliptical orbit, and like the Earth, it also has axial tilt, although it is only 6.7 degrees. The elliptical orbit is also causing the moon to appear bigger and smaller. Now, if you want to learn some more about libration, they have a very good article about it on Wikipedia. Now here is a comparison of the moon at its closest and farthest away point. This was from an observatory in Malaysia. So it's about 14% bigger when it is closer. Now I was curious to see if the moon was the same size, and the terminator line was not at the exact same point. So what I did is I drew an arrow across the one video here, so it was on top of this crater and just below that crater. Then I took a copy of this arrow on the left over here and I pasted it onto the video over here on the right, and then I rotated that arrow until it was in the same alignment over the top of this crater over here and at the bottom of this crater here. And you can see that the moon on the right is just a little bit bigger, and I am pretty certain that I was at full optical zoom for both of these. Now, since the moon terminator lines were at different angles, I was just curious to see if the moon was heading down to the horizon at the same angle. So you can see that this moon is going down between these two lines. Now I copied and pasted these and aligned them so they're on each side of the moon over here, and it is almost tracking the same path. If you look up here in the upper right, you can see that it's starting to shift to the left, and over onto the left you can see that it is moving over a little bit. But again, my camera might not have been perfectly aligned with the horizon on either one of these videos. Next, I'm going to show you 3 different videos that were taken one day apart of the rising moon. Now, everybody knows that during the course of the year, the sun will rise farther to the north in the summer and farther to the south in the winter. And the moon does a similar thing, but it happens during the course of 1 month. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on March 28th here. That was a full moon. And I'll warn you right now, I did not set the camera up at the exact same zoom for each shot or in the exact same position. Now I use the sunset time-lapse feature on a P900, so this is 50 minutes worth, which gives you about a 10-second video. So this is the next day on the 29th, and on the previous day we saw the moon rising. It started about right in this area. And this is March 30th, and on the previous day the moon started to rise about right here and then cut right through the edge of that building.